We the Property Brrrrothas. The Property Brrrrothas.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? We are back.
What's happening?
Property Brrrrothas. I am your host, Jordan, along with my co-host and extraordinaire, Drew, my cousin. Man, Drew, how you doing, brother?
Dude, it's Friday. I'm excited for Friday. It has been a week. It has been a week.
Friday.
My gosh, Friday. Hey, brother. Cheers. We
Cheers.
made it to Friday.
We made it to Friday. Cheers.
Yes, yes. Hey, what are we calling this episode?
Man, listen, this is a segment, people, that we are going to call crafting goals, because we are talking about goal setting. And you know what? Because it's Friday, we've had a long week. We have to crack open a craft beer and a nice bottle of wine for
Nice bottle of wine.
Mr.
Nice
Bougie
bottle.
himself.
Yes,
Drew.
sir. Yes, sir. Hey, okay. Let me just tell y'all.
Go ahead. Because listen, that sounds
All right. Why do they call it stemware?
Why do they call it stemware?
Yes. Why is wine poured in a stemware?
So, I don't know, but I know you're going to tell us.
Yes. Well,
Enlighten us, my brother.
listen. So when you guys go to a winery, we live in I live in wine country in Temecula, which is north of San Diego. And when you go wine tasting, you want to make
Shameless
sure.
plug.
I know, shameless plug. You want to make sure that you are holding your wine glass right. All right. The reason why you don't hold it like this, a lot of people hold it like this. Well, I'm warming up
Even
that
I know
wine,
that
man.
you can't do that.
Hey, you warming your wine up. You're changing the complexity. You're changing the flavor content. I mean, gosh, right here, this is the way you hold it. And, anyways,
That's fancy.
it
Hey,
is what it is.
what you sipping on though? I see it. Hey, I know this much. It's a white wine. I can tell that.
It's a white wine. This is a Pinot Grigio. It is something that my wife poured. So currently I'm blind tasting it. So I couldn't tell you the specific winery that it came from, but it's delicious. It's exactly what I need on a Friday. And with that being said, I am excited to talk about goals.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, so
We'll
check
get
it
into
out. What do goals have to do with Brothas?
That smells good.
That
So
does. That
listen.
dude, wait, hold on. Let me see that head.
You see that?
That's beautiful.
That's nice.
That is
In
beautiful. What are
case
you
you're
drinking?
wondering,
What are
in
you
case you're
drinking?
wondering, this is a douche. This is an IPA.
Can we see the can?
Absolutely. Look at that hop right there. That's beautiful.
I was gonna say that was a pineapple.
No. See, what's wrong with you? Golly. No, so this has got a real nice tropical kind of feel to it. It's super hoppy. So hey, for all my craft heads out there, shout out to all the craft beer enthusiasts out there. Certainly has a real nice citrusy tropical hop feel. And hold on. Taste this. That's
Ooh.
smooth.
Ooh.
That is smooth. But anyways, hold on, man.
All right.
I'm getting out of hand here.
It's okay. It's Friday.
It's
It's Friday. But we have goals.
We do have goals, and
We
we're going
have
to be
goals.
crafting goals. So what do goals have to do with the Property Brrrrothas? So listen, we would not be the Property Brrrrothas if it didn't start with a plan. It didn't start with some type of why. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
why are we doing this? Why?
Well, we talked about it on the first episode, brother.
We did.
We talked about creating a legacy.
We did talk about that. I talked about, how I was I am like a serial hustler when it comes to having lots of jobs, right?
Yeah, for
School
sure.
teach, I officiate, I coach, I run all these other different programs, this, that, and the third. And, it's all to a means to an end. And as I hear, I hear some of my whys in the background. I hear them screaming in the background. I hope you guys don't hear him. Maybe you do hear him, but who cares?
Yeah.
What-
No, but you should care, right? So what is your why, right? So, and that's something that, I know that we talk about investing in properties. We talk about Indianapolis. We talk about the BRRRR. We had a great, oh my God. I really hope that we did not alienate some of our audience with the amount of depth that we went into the very first step in the BRRRR process.
Property
Right?
Brrrrothas got
Yes.
real deep in the
Got really
BRRRR
deep.
with the first letter in the acronym, the BY. Man,
Yeah, we did. So, but I suggested that we take a step back to really think about, listen, why are we doing this, right? And for us, investing in property, no matter how sexy it is, really, I love investing in properties. I love going and getting a looker and turning it into a looky look.
turning it
Looker.
into a booker.
Yes, it's got to be
Look it.
turned into a booker. For us, it's a means to an end, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
our hustle may not necessarily be your hustle, right?
Mhm,
But
mhm.
you have to determine what your specific hustle is, right? So maybe you have multiple side hustles, and where are you going with that, right? So one of the things that we talked about is you cannot reach your destination without understanding what the destination is, right?
Uh-huh.
Where
Oh,
exactly are you
on now.
going, right? So
Yeah.
for us, what we like to do, we have an accountability group. So we see each other every morning. Every morning we jump on and we talk about our goals. Now that may seem obsessive, but guess what? We are obsessive about reaching our goals.
That's right.
And having somebody that understands where we're going and how we're going to get there, and understanding what the trials and tribulations are, being able to have a sounding board
Mhm.
about the obstacles
Yeah.
that we're going through. Man, it is absolutely,
Price.
and it's priceless. Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth. It is priceless. So the way that we do it is we have a spreadsheet that we utilize, which we break down what our goals are for the end of the year. But even further than that, we look at a 5-year plan. Where are we going to be in 5 years? What are we aiming for? And these goals are legacy goals, meaning they're goals that seem so out of reach that it's like, how are we going to get there? But think about it. It's 5 years, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot that can be accomplished in 5 years.
Absolutely.
And then from there, we look at what is our annual goal, right? So, let's say, all right, let's say, for example, your goal is, I want to look at that. That's beautiful. Nice. Ooh,
BPLB.
will
Black
you,
people love beer.
hey, take a sip.
That is,
That looks good.
hey, real quick, shout out to my favorite brewery, Crowns and Hops, Inglewood. Always up to no good. BPLB.
Always.
If you know, you know. Sorry, I digress.
I don't know, but it's okay. I'm sure you will, in another
I will
episode,
enlighten you.
you'll enlighten us. All right. So annual goal. And that annual goal, let's say you're trying to go after $1 million, right? What you need to do is kind of work that backwards, right? $1 million seems unattainable
Absolutely.
from where we're sitting today,
Absolutely.
possibly,
Yeah.
right?
Like, how do I get $1 million?
How do you get $1 million?
Yeah.
Well,
You got to start with
you
the
know,
end in mind, right?
you got to start with the end in mind. So you got to build a foundation. So maybe the first quarter, you're breaking these down into quarters. Maybe your first quarter goal is to come up with a business strategy or some sort of side hustle strategy that will help you to get in front of, or put yourself in front of, the opportunity to make money.
There you go.
Right. So, and then your next 3 quarters would be $333,000 per quarter, right? And then you say, all right, well, what does that 333 look like? Well, that looks like $111,000 per month. right, for 9 months. But that first 3 months is a pivotal deal. So we're looking at, all right, let's break it down by quarter. Let's break it down by month. What is our monthly goal? So that monthly goal could be, maybe the first month that we're looking at this, it could be, I'm going to go out and investigate side hustles and see which one has viability, which one is going to help me to get to that next level, which one's going to help me to achieve that $1 million goal.
That's right.
And a lot of times, here's what happens is that I feel a lot of people get distracted by the goal. They're like, oh, I can't get the goal. I can't hit the goal. That's unattainable. If you put together a strategy and a plan to reach that goal. So for example, for me, this year, my goal is, now keep in mind, this may seem small, but I'm also running an advertising agency. So for my advertising agency, I'm looking at building the monthly recurring revenue to a certain dollar amount. Right.
MRR. Right.
And that's monthly recurring revenue. But I'm also looking at building my rental portfolio to complement what I'm doing in the advertising agency.
At the same time, right?
At the exact same time, I want that to be 10K, right? Now, that seems pretty lofty. That means I have to get some lookers converted, and we got to get some, they call it butts in seats, renters in seats, renters, tenants. We got to get some tenants, but we got to make sure that these houses are no longer lookers, but they're bookers, and we're booking people into those properties.
That's right.
So we're breaking it down, starting with the year, breaking it down to the quarter, breaking it down to the month, breaking it down weekly goals. And when we have our calls, our accountability calls, we're talking about, hey, all right, what are we doing for this week? Right? And what are you doing today to meet that goal for the week? And does that week line up with your quarterly goal or your monthly goal? And does that monthly goal line up with your quarterly goal? Are all of these things that you are doing and building upon leading you to success?
Right.
And we hold each other accountable. We question the actions, right? There are a lot of times, we don't always feel like planning. Sometimes planning's boring, right? Especially when you're looking at the same goal over and over and over, you're like, right?
Yeah.
But consistency and frequency builds muscle memory.
There you go.
And you're just
like going
pounding.
to the gym, just like any athlete, right?
Yeah.
Memory, man.
Yeah. So, how can our listeners do something similar? Right?
Yeah. So, I think it takes our listeners, our audience to, really sit down and first and foremost, we alluded to this in the beginning of the segment, is find out your whys, right? First break down, okay, why do you want to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve? Because without your why, then you're just fishing in the dark, so to speak. For me personally, my why is the legacy, for my family. My why is to get out of the rat race, to be job optional. A lot of people are like, oh, I just want to retire early.
Right.
I want to retire. I want to retire tomorrow, right? I want to retire by the age of 40. And it's cool. Like, retire by the age of 40. More power to you. But,
hey,
what?
We both have people that have retired early in their lives. And I feel like they don't know what to do with themselves.
That is a great segue, right? If you retire and you want to retire early, that's fine.
It's beautiful. That's your dream.
But,
live your dream, boo-boo.
Yeah, do you. But, what else are you going to do with the remaining 40, 50, 60 years of your life? Right. I mean, there's a lot to be said for, I want to give I don't want to get too down a tangent, and down a rabbit hole, but, my dad, right, has been working for, literally forever, right? And he's still
Yes.
working, right?
Yeah.
And
Shout
so,
out to Uncle.
yep, my dad is going to turn 70. My dad is not retired. And I just had a conversation with my dad. And and my dad wants to continue to work, because there is value in what you do, right? There's value in, working. As human beings, we need to have some type of purpose. Am I right, Drew? You got to have purpose
1000%.
in your life.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say job optional.
Dude,
right?
job optional that's the dream right there. Because, you think about it, the difference between having to work and optionally work, that is beautiful.
Needing to work versus wanting to work. Needing to work
take
versus
option.
wanting to work.
I take option one.
Right. Like I need to work because we got bills to pay, right? And there's that. And then I want to work because it provides value.
Right.
Right. And so there's a lot of people that, that are watching this that are like, well, I don't want to work at my job. I hate my job. Well, cool. Well, then this is who we're talking to. Right.
And this is a way to get out of that rat race. This is a way to
get out of that rat.
Everybody shows up to work. Not everybody. Let me rephrase that. That's the wine talking. Hey,
crafting goals Friday.
Crafting goals. Yes. People talk about wanting to be in another space, in another vehicle. They envision, they're dreamers. They can dream, but then they don't put action behind that dream. And what we are talking about is providing a vehicle to help you to put action behind those dreams.
That's right.
Right. So breaking those goals down. And I have to give a shout out because it's not just us who's part of our group, right? Mm-hmm. We've got Caleb. Yeah. We got the keys. We got Jabez. He's doing an amazing thing.
Shout out to Jabez, man. I mean, he's on this whole natural light. Everything in life is free.
That book is, yes.
So dope, man.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Yes.
Find Jabez El Israel on Amazon, man. Shout out.
Dude, he's tearing it up.
Dude,
and Caleb, man, Caleb is such an inspiration. Like he's doing what we're doing, but he's like, 10 years younger, maybe 15 years younger than us.
Is he 30? I don't even think he's 30 yet.
I don't think so, man. No. Like
he
is a hustler.
Yeah.
He is a hustler. He's out there. Caleb Keys is out there doing this thing. And then we've got Sean. Sean is killing it.
Shout out to Sean. I'm my property manager too.
Right? So, and what's beautiful is like when you have accountability partners like we've established, you get to see them take their goals to reality. And it's so inspiring. It's inspirational. It's beautiful. Right? And so part of the process is not only mapping out what our goals are for the year, for the 5-year, the month, the quarter, the day, the week, but we actually take time every morning, and our process is we will write those goals down. We'll write down the most important goal and why that goal is important to you, right? Why is that goal important to you? That is so powerful. It is so powerful to think about, to actually deconstruct that goal and say, hey, it's important to me. So for me, one of the things that I've been writing down every day for each goal is happiness. I want happiness in my life. I need that peace in my life, right? So these goals are going to help me to reach peace and happiness.
That's valuable, man. That's remarkable.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And so once we've done that, we've written down the 3 things that make that goal important. From there, we take time to visualize for a minute, and we close our eyes and we visualize, what does it feel like to actually have accomplished that goal. But even more powerful than that, visualizing yourself as already achieving that goal.
Yes.
And that is extremely powerful as well, because you get a chance to be that person that you are striving towards.
And the great thing about it is it's you, right? And, we talk about these, these lofty goals, but in reality, when you break it down into bite-sized pieces, right? It's not as unattainable as it may seem. And I just want to clarify, the reason why we write these things down is because we want to manifest it, right?
Yeah.
We want to manifest, our goals to make them a reality. And, like Drew alluded to earlier, it's muscle memory. If you are writing it down, right? If you are visualizing it, you are manifesting your goals, So when it happens, it's like, I knew this was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
I manifested,
100%.
you know what I mean? Like I followed a plan, and I stuck to it every single day. And so no matter, where you are in your investing journey, or just your, journey in life, right? This can be valuable.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Setting your goals can be extremely valuable on a day-to-day basis. And it doesn't have to be, you can start small, right, Drew? You can start small. I know we say lofty, and I think that,
Right.
For, maybe some of our listeners, they may be in a situation where they're like, lofty ain't for me right now. Right. And so make it attainable, but the goal is you want it to be lofty. The reason why we say lofty is because you want to be able to have it, kind of just outside of your reach, but, not so far where you can't grasp it.
Right.
I'm going to grasp.
So
this
it's
one.
interesting because a lot of times, I've heard this phrase that if you aim for the stars, you'll get to the moon. Right. And I think that, last year was our very first time where we actually practiced this. And we were able to, for the majority of the goals, we had 3 goals. And I think the way that we broke it down was, at least for myself, I broke it down for the 2 different businesses that I'm running, and then 1 personal goal, right? The fact is that we actually got, for me, I got at least 80% on each of the goals. Each of the goals, even though they were lofty, even though they were the star, beyond the stars.
Yeah.
I mean, that is incredible. And I think that as someone who is trying to implement a strategy for themselves, they need to think about not only the money goal or the career goal, but they also need to think about the personal goal. So Jordan talked about his why, and my why is very similar. My why is legacy, but my why is also, I want to be around for my family, right? So I have a big health goal. My goal is to maintain a certain girlish figure. I got to keep everything tweaked. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so, but that also is about eating right. And that's about the daily decisions that I make. Yes, we're having wine and we're having beer today, but I didn't have any of that throughout the week. This is a reward for me.
A reward, right? This is our celebration for
we made it to Friday.
Yeah. Hey,
right?
Let me just tell you, man. Y'all know I school teach.
Yes.
Each and other people's kids deserve a crafting goals Friday.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Boom. So with that said, I didn't mean to digress, but on your personal, goals, yeah. I mean, it is important to, have some type of celebration, like, damn, I did it. I did it today. I did it this week. I did it this month. I did it this quarter, whatever. But I think that's also a good segue though, Drew, to also, kind of talk about, certainly with the real estate game, immediate satisfaction versus delayed gratification.
Yeah, 1000%. So,
Kind of talk to us about, where, our strategy in real estate kind of fits into that, but also just any type of investing vehicle or side hustle can kind of fit into this goal setting, this crafting goals Friday.
I think the biggest challenge that we have in today's society is the immediacy of everything, right? So you have certain, I want to call them urges, or certain things that that can be fulfilled immediately. Instagram, you've got, Facebook, you've got Netflix putting out an entire season of something that you would normally have to wait, a week, every week. And then occasionally they go on vacation and be like, dang, that's 4 weeks before they get back. Right. So, what we are talking about is putting together a strategy that helps you to accomplish the goal in a reasonable time. Right. So taking this elephant, this thing that looks like it is absolutely monstrous, and really dissecting it and taking one bite at a time. And it is achievable. It's hard sometimes to see that the goal that you are trying to go after is actually attainable. But if you were actually able to take that big goal, let's take the idea of making $1 million in a year. Well, if we did that and we said, all right, well, what does that actually look like? 365 days, you're talking about $2,739 per day, right? So what could you do to attain that? That might be something pretty lofty, but it's also, again, what we talked about with regards to establishing foundation and establishing a vehicle. What kind of vehicle could get you to that mark?
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
That is, you have to step back and think about it from that perspective, right? Because it's not about trying to tackle everything all at once. You don't have to do it all at once, right?
Bite size.
It's bite-sized pieces. You're stacking. Like for us with real estate, we are stacking these properties, right? To make a little bit at a time. And over the course of 10 years, like if you started at, let's say you started at 21, by the time you were 31, let's say you were able to establish a portfolio of 22 properties, and the average amount that those properties were making was $300.
Yeah, per month, per property.
That's $6,600 a month. That's not bad.
Times 12.
Times 12. That is $80,000. And that may seem like, well, that's a lot of work to get to where you are. Here's what's interesting is some of these properties aren't making 300. I brought on a property that is currently, I just bought it last 2-3 months ago?
Dearborn?
Something like that? No, Eastern.
Well, yeah.
And that property is making $900 a month. Well, I forgot to, let's subtract insurance, and because I paid all that stuff up front. But, the bottom line is that you have some that are going to be earners and you have some that are going to be lower earners, but the average is that's what you're aiming for. And ultimately you have to have a goal, right? You have to know where you're going. Back in the day, we used to have to pull out maps. Remember when you were like, okay, we're going to Tahoe. We're going to go to Squaw Valley. No?
Pull out this map.
Oh my God.
Chart
right?
it.
Yes.
Chart it.
Yes. Chart it. Or what
was that
website? Quest. Oh my God. You have to plug in your MapQuest and then print out the papers and then
God for Google Maps, for doggone Apple Maps.
The point is,
thank you, technology.
There was a destination that we knew where we were aiming for, and we pulled out the map and it told us step by step by step. Well, in this case, you are creating your own map. You're creating your own map. You're creating your own opportunity to say, these are the turns that I'm going to make. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So what's the beauty, Jordan? What's the beauty of creating a goal that is not typically attainable?
Dude. So the beauty with that, man, is it's going to drive you, right? It's going to drive you. It may drive you insane. Hopefully not.
Facts.
It may drive you crazy,
Facts.
but it'll drive you nonetheless, right? So who's behind the wheel, right? So it's going to drive you to kind of go ahead and set a course. You know, if you are intentional, which is what I talked about in our first episode.
Yes.
If you haven't watched it, you know, find us on Apple Podcasts, find us on Spotify, find us on YouTube, find us on all the things, man, you know,
Yeah.
on Instagram. But if you haven't watched it, go back to that first episode, you know, where I kind of talk about, you know, how I was intentional about investing in real estate and how I got into it during COVID. You know, if you are intentional about your goals and intentional with
Ooh, was
goals,
that a slip up? Intentional? I like that. Say it again.
Happy Friday.
I like
I
it.
can make up my own words. Intentional.
Intentional. I like that.
Happy Friday.
Hey, did anybody realize?
I saw it. He done finished his glass and he onto his glass.
Onto the chilada.
Onto the
Hey,
there's a
can I just say, look at this.
Bud Light makes a nice chilada. I'm not gonna lie.
This is nice. Hey, it's not a
it's cool.
crafty, but this gets the job done. Anyways,
Ollie, and you over here hitting your mic, hitting the boom. Anyways,
say less.
damn. Anyways, so in all reality, it's super important for you to craft these lofty goals so that you can drive every single day, crafting a plan, no pun intended, so that you can each and every day, you know, I look at it like this. So, you know, when you wake up in the morning, you know, what are you trying to, you know, accomplish for that day, right? Carpe diem. Are you seizing the day, you know, or are you letting the day seize you? Are you walking through the day kind of like, you know, moaning and groaning, you know, mad at the world for the choices you made or for the lot in your life or whatever, you know, or are you going to, you know, look in the mirror and go, hey, I can change my situation. I have the power. I have the control. I have the keys. I can drive this engine. I can drive this vehicle to get where I need to go. You know, that vehicle may be a lemon, Drew.
It might be.
Go, putt.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it may not even start. It might be like,
Hey,
once you get that mug started, dog, and you get it out the driveway, right? Even if you got to push it, right? It's going to go. Okay. And it's just those bite-sized pieces that Drew talks about, right? Like, how do you eat an elephant, Drew?
One bite at a time.
Not that you would want to eat an elephant, but I'm just saying, one bite.
Maybe, I don't know. I never tasted one, but it might be good.
It could be. It might taste like chicken.
It looked a little tough. Anyways, so listen, what I was going after was when you create these lofty goals, if you create a goal that's easily attainable, there's multiple ways to get to that goal, right? So it's kind of like with MapQuest. It's like, all right, well, maybe not MapQuest. Let's go back to Google Maps. All right. Google Maps has 3 or 4 different routes that you can take. This one might take you 22 minutes. This one might take you 20 minutes. This one might take you, 18 minutes. This one's scenic. There's no traffic. It's going to take you 25 minutes. You have choices, right?
Yeah.
And so those choices can be distracting, right? Those choices, those varying routes can be very distracting. If you are going somewhere Like, say, for example, we're flying from San Diego to France. There's not a lot of routes. You got to get on the airplane, and it's going to take you where you need to go. Like, it's a little bit of a longer journey. It's a loftier journey. My point is, and that might not be the best example, because you could take Southwest, you could take. My point is the loftier goal. Like, if you say, all right, there's multiple ways to get to 1 million. How many ways are there to get to $100 million in 1 year? How many are there? Right? Well, there's probably that now takes away all those options that were just 1 million. Now you've got kind of really, okay, I got to start Amazon. In order to get to 100 million.
Right.
So now, instead of, how we talked about earlier, taking that first quarter to plan, maybe you're taking half a year to plan. What does that look like? Putting the SOPs in place and the processes and what have you to reach that ultimate goal so that you can set it up to scale, right? It's a very limited process. So I know that we were talking about the fact that, yes, you don't have to start out lofty, but I would challenge you to start out lofty.
Absolutely.
Start out with the bigger goal, because again, if you are aiming for the stars, you're going to land on the moon.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
That's what I got today.
You got a michelada too.
It's so good.
Man.
I like it. It's beautiful.
This is good, man.
Dude, thank you. Thank you for showing up. And you know what? I want to tell you, thank you for showing up to our daily meetings. I mean, that's huge, man. Like, just knowing that, dude, I got to get up. I got to fill out my spreadsheet because I don't want to let these dudes down. I want these dudes to know. Right? It's accountability, man.
It's accountability, but you're not only holding each other accountable, you're holding yourself accountable too. Right?
1,000. And you know what? It's better to go on a long ass journey with your family and your friend, somebody else, drag them through the mud with you.
Yeah.
Come on, come with me. Come with me through this mud. I know it's dirty.
That's right.
I know it's dirty. Yes. Yes, sir.
Well, listen, this was good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're so thankful and that you guys could be with us. This is our segment, Goals. We're going to call it Crafting Goals. I don't know. We might work on the game. We might work on the name.
Look at that. You got to hustle.
You got to grind.
And we got to grind.
Hey,
hustle.
If you enjoyed this segment, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a comment in YouTube.
No, I don't want no comment. Leave me a like.
And subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Find us on Spotify. Find us on Apple Podcasts. If you can take the time out of your day, leave us a review, hopefully 5 stars. Find us on all the platforms. We're there. Good. And, it was a blast, man, as always. What you looking for? A blast. You're always looking at something.
You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for all the dang channels they could find us on. I never knew before I started this podcast, I never knew that there were channels like, let me see, Amazon Music, Castbox,
find us,
iHeartRadio,
find us,
find us everywhere. It's, you know what? Here's the beauty. We could be found.
Search us. We could be found.
I love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
Peace.
Appreciate you, man. For Drew, I'm Jordan, and we are the Property Brrrrothas. Peace, y'all. Take care.
The Property Brothers was produced and edited by the hosts. All rights are reserved by the Property Brothers LLC, and the hosts are operating exclusively on behalf of the Property Brothers LLC. Please consult appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business advice. Nothing on this show should be considered professional advice. We appreciate you all for following our journey. It would mean the world to us if you could like, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. God bless.